we have to because everyone knows that now. All right, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah amma ba'd. Welcome back to the second of hopefully many Jaanwar Fitness podcasts. My name is Saad. I'm joined here today by our hosts, Shakil Shafiuddin and Mujtaba Ashfaq. And we're here hopefully to deliver some more awesomeness regarding fitness. And, you know, it's Super Bowl Sunday, and that means people are eating. And there's a lot of spreads out there that people are enjoying. So probably the last thing they want to hear once they're done having all those wings and everything else comes with it. But, you know, why not?
Eating and watching other people do activity.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Sitting, right? That's what it is. All right. So today's show is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, so we're going to try to talk about how to begin a fitness journey or a journey to become healthy.
Yes.
I think it's a little bit more. So we'll start with...
Well, let's first begin why people want to become healthy. All of us have had reasons, and we're going to talk about in a later podcast why we went down the journey of fitness. But everyone always has some point in his life or her life that caused them to change.
Agreed.
Now, just briefly, what was yours?
Mine?
Yeah.
Mine was at a very young age, right? So I was 12. There was more, how do you call it? Just confidence, you know, low self-confidence, low self-esteem.
Nice. Yeah.
Right?
That's a lot of people.
Moj was always into athletics and sports, right?
Well, not really. Mine was just...
Being bullied at IE by this guy.
That's probably what started it.
Yeah. I mean, even at IE, we were into that. Remember? We were all about...
Well, we were all about sports and
A lot of
athletics.
sports,
We didn't have Game Boys.
Who was stronger, who could jump faster, who could run faster, all that stuff. It was just really... we did have Game Boy and the other thing. I forgot what it was. But yes.
Genesis.
Oh my God. I can't... No, it's not Genesis. There's something else. The handheld one.
From Sega.
The Sega Genesis was Sega Part 2. It was like the...
Sega Genesis.
There's like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega, and Sega Genesis.
There was Game Boy, and then there was that little thing that...
Yeah, it was from Sega. I forgot.
But it wasn't Genesis. It was
Sega,
something
but
else.
I forgot what it's called. No, definitely
Awesome, you
not
remember what
Genesis.
it was? No. Okay.
Samir will remember.
Yeah, we should call him right now.
I think everybody... It depends on your age.
Yeah.
And where you are in life that people really start to work out. You know, I mean, I feel like younger people are working out to be more athletic and stronger, and I feel like older people are usually working out to, for health purposes, right?
There's usually a scare. Someone has chest pains walking up the stairs. Someone sees a family member pass away due to a heart attack. Someone has, someone might have to. I see this a lot, unfortunately, with different people where they have to go to a wedding. And they're fitting into clothes that are old, and they're like, it doesn't fit.
That doesn't usually start a fitness journey. That usually just starts some kind of fad program.
It's true.
Lasts for about 3-4 months, and then that's it. It's over. But I think most of the people that we get right now, I think 90% of our clientele is all about health. And they come in because they're quickly noticing that they're deteriorating either physically. And then obviously that physical deterioration, it does it kind of pushes into your mental being, your emotional being. You hear that all the time. If they're overweight or if they're unhealthy, something's wrong, they're completely down, right? They're mentally just weakened now. They're spiritually, they're weakened. They're just worried about their health. They're scared. But I think most of the people, first, I think people have to understand, what's going to make what's going to get them to the table, right? That's something that's, I think, really up to. There's nothing that we can dictate. I really feel like people come to me and say, "Hey, man, get me in the gym." And I'm like, no. Why do you want to come here? Like, why do you need to work out? What's your reason for coming here? I can't force anyone to get into the gym. I can help you. I can motivate you to a certain extent once you get there, right? But the problem is, how are you going to get there? Yeah. And that's up to the person themselves, right? So, there's a certain notion, right, in our community where, you have to be encouraging and you have to, not just in our community. I think today everyone's become a big baby. You have to be really soft and sweet to get somebody. And I'm not like that. I think it's just, it's a mental thing. If you're not there, you're not there. And if you're going to be there, you're going to be there. Right? Yeah. So number one thing is you got to get there. Whatever it is. Health scare.
For different people and for different points in people's lives, it's going to be different.
Yeah, for sure.
When I was younger, I would say it was probably a lot more, I'm already playing sports. I need to be doing something. Be active. Now that I'm getting older, a lot older, it's more just my health.
Yeah,
right?
90%.
All of us have been working out for 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
But we don't look like supermodels.
No.
We're all besides Shaq.
Not even close.
Or
at
also
least
a
not
J.
the,
Crew model.
at least not the guys that we see on the internet. I mean, I don't think. But that's a completely different topic.
English,
We'll
can you
get to
bring
that
your mic up low? I just want to make sure that it catches you.
Okay.
But one of the things that they always talk about, the wise man versus the foolish man. Like the foolish man is the one who has to learn from his own mistakes.
Yeah.
Is the wise man is the one who learns from other people's mistakes. And I think we've seen enough heart attacks in the community, enough bouts with diabetes, enough bouts with obesity, etc. Where I would like people to take a step back and say, don't wait for you to have a reason to work out and get
100%.
fit.
Yeah.
Just make the decision to work out and get fit.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because sometimes when a person has that reason, they're more motivated and likely to stay on that regimen.
Yeah.
But then many more obstacles come with it. Whereas if you decide by yourself that, look, today I'm going to, and this is anything, someone can have a dream where they're going to go to hell, and then they have this fear like, I need to get more righteous. Someone could see someone pass away, I need to prepare if I go in the grave.
Yeah.
But when a person just decides, even when nothing else is happening, that I just want to, by Allah's tawfiq, be more productive as a Muslim, then that's going to last longer. Because when someone passes away, eventually the grief subsides.
Yeah.
When someone has a bad dream, eventually the anxiety subsides. When someone makes a decision, like an azima, an actual resolution, that stays longer. And then there's ways to
And that's
push
important. The resolution part is so important because there are guys we know, I mean, we all know, had heart attacks, had health scares, and then there's still like one, not even a little, like 3, 6 months. I mean, I've had this personal experience with somebody in my family.
Yeah.
6 months to a year, they're like, on their tablets, taking their medicine on time, worried about their health to a certain degree, not eating the wrong things, trying to exercise. And then, that goes away. That fear goes away after a year or so. And then, boom, you're right back to...
That's where you have to constantly be motivated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I don't think that's motivation, man. It's like you gotta... How do you motivate somebody to do something that's so, like, necessity? I mean, it's so hard. That's why we have so many people who are successful and so many people who are failures. That whole spectrum of human beings, right, that do all kinds of jobs. Yeah. There are go-getters who are way up there, and there are guys who didn't do anything. And you're like, well, we need everybody, right? You need people like this. But when it comes to your health, you don't need everybody like that. Everyone should try to be healthy, but you have to get there yourself. We can't. There's no other motivation. That's if you can't, like when we see examples like people who get who have serious health issues,
right? And
then like you see them come like, why are you eating that, man? Like didn't you have a heart attack 2 years ago? You're eating biryani again. Oh my God, how can I stop? It's the taste. Look at it, it's amazing. I'm gonna shadi. A million excuses are like, okay, and we'll get into those excuses later because I hear from people, the last podcast, I actually heard feedback from people saying, wasn't it not the podcast? I think it was, we recorded a video at breakfast with the Mikhail and Hars.
Yeah.
And they had sent out that video to a small group of people just to get feedback.
Yes.
Right? And that feedback came back like, food doesn't have to taste bad. No one said food doesn't have to taste bad. I just said it doesn't have to be super delicious all the time. You know what I mean? But whatever it is, that's a... you have to have a strong mindset. You have to want to do it yourself. You have to want to get healthy. You have to want to be successful. You have to want to be rich. You have to want to have education. In order to get those things, you have to want, right? And in this physical case, it's amazing because everything else could be difficult, right? There could be outside factors that really kick you in. Over here, it's a lot more personal and a lot less outside factors, right?
Yeah.
And like everything else, we've been told this when we were growing up, and now that we're older, this is a true fact. If you really want something, you will find a way.
Yeah.
No matter what, you will find a way if you really, really need to do it, right? So when I hear excuses like, I have family, I have kids, I have to work, I have to do this, I'm like, yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
But this is like part of like, do you not eat? Do you not use the bathroom? Do you not pray? This is how the mindset has to kind of get into like, this is actually a part of my life, right?
Yeah.
So that mindset has to be there. You have to really want to do it. You have to really want to be healthy. So how do you get started? Try to be healthy. You want to have to get healthy, right? That's the main thing. If you're younger, you probably want to get stronger. If you're, maybe you want to look better. Maybe you want to lose weight. Whatever your motivation is, at the end of the day, you're going to get healthy. Whatever it is, you're going to get healthy if you start exercising or if you start a fitness journey. You don't look like you don't look amazing without doing anything, except for the people online. All right, I'm going to say this right now, guys. If you're watching those people online and you're thinking, and that's what I get all the time. Hey, what can I eat? This guy takes this protein. This guy takes this thing over here. I saw this social media influencer doing this. All nonsense. I'm going to say this very clearly. All nonsense. 25 years here, I don't look like those guys over there. They're taking drugs. They're doing all kinds of stuff. A lot of camera tricks. A lot of BS. Video shoots here and there. 95% of that stuff is fake. I can tell you because I live it. I live it every day and every night. I'm 25 years in working out, eating, dieting, nutrition. It's not gonna happen unless but I have a life too, right? So I've been working, and so those people are dedicated 24 hours a day. Number one, number two, they are doing a lot of things that we cannot do. So we shouldn't even look at those. I really want to say, don't look at social media influencers. They're not real people.
Yeah. So look what's in. Find your motivation. Find your reason. And once you found it, let's take that first step, which is that's the precursor. That's what's going to get you on this path. The first step is intention. Gotta make intention. That's it. That's the first step for any person, be you Muslim or non-Muslim, but especially within Islam. This idea of the hadith of innamal a'malu binniyat, and it's so interesting that hadith was not the first hadith mentioned by the Prophet ﷺ, but so many books put that hadith in the beginning. It's a reminder for everyone who's reading, who's teaching that text, etc., that everything is based on intention. 100%. So when you jump into this fitness journey, have the proper intention. And I think people shouldn't restrict themselves in intentions. When I wear this garment, I can wear it because, for example, I want to cover my body. That's a reward. I want to fulfill a sunnah by maybe the length. That's a reward. I want to look good for my wife. That's a reward. I want to protect my body from cold and different natural dangers. That's a reward. You can have a multitude of intentions that takes one act and makes it into like an absolute festival of rewards, a garden of rewards. And so we should have our intentions. And the first intention for the body is to please Allah, because this is an amana. It's a trust from Allah. And if you were to borrow my car and return it back like garbage, I would be pretty upset. And we can't take the body from Allah and give it back and worship when we got it.
Yeah, it's a crazy misconception I think that we have. It's for some reason we have completely just disregarded ourselves. Especially ourselves. You see people do things for other people. I see that all the time. When it comes to their own body, for some reason we completely have disregard. When it comes to food, when it comes to working out, everything. Total chaos. I don't know what it is about self-care, but for some reason it's a lasting on people's mind, especially in our community. So that is, something that we have to change. This is, I used to get all the time, gym is a waste of time, or you're just doing it to have big muscles and you're doing it for this. I'll be honest, my intention probably wasn't that great when I was younger. My intention really was just have big muscles, be strong. And when I was younger, I wasn't really connecting strength to health at that time. I didn't realize it at the time that strength is literally equal to health. I just thought, man, I just want to be strong, and I knew being stronger, it would help me with a lot. Getting injured. People who play sports. This is going to be a great topic when we get to that sports thing.
Yeah.
You want to prevent injury when you're playing sports. I used to play sports when I was younger. I wanted to be not get hurt if something happened. If I get into a car accident, if I fall, if someone beats me up, if I get into a fight, I just wanted to make sure that I was strong. Today, my intention every day is like just to have a healthy life. Not to have any medical issues. Be able to have I can't say longevity. Because we all know, right, that your time is written regardless. You could be a brick. You're gonna die. That's all there is to it. So it's not about longevity. It's about the quality of life. That's what I'm looking for. Quality of life. I want to spend good time with my kids. Yes, I want to be able to do stuff. I want to be able to walk. I want to be able to walk till I die. I want to be able to pray till I die. I want to be able to do sujood till I die. Ruku. I don't want to be sitting in a chair. I want to say this here, guys. People who sit in chairs, your prayer doesn't count as good as the people who stand and pray. It's just impossible. You're not at the same level. I hate it when people think that it's the same thing to sit in a chair and pray. No, it's not. It's not. Especially when you're playing basketball, you're playing football, you're doing stupid stuff, you're getting hurt, you're eating crappy food, right? That's what it is. 90% of the people who are sitting in chairs in our masjids, they're not war veterans.
There goes 90% of the audience right there.
They're not war veterans. They're not. And this is the truth. This is a hard reality. Nobody wants to hear it. Everyone wants to be baby. Oh, it's okay. Pray on the street.
I agree with Shak on that point, because all of my injuries have forced me to not pray properly anymore. To the point where when I go into qada, I can't sit properly. I can't bend my knee down all the way. There are people that have medical conditions.
Yeah, there are some. Yeah.
Look, if you're super old, if you're 100 years old, you have a disability or something like that, fine. I understand that. But what disability do you have? Unless it's like, if you had a bad car accident that was not your fault, I get it, But
one of my hips teachers that I would recite to, I would go recite to him, and what's the name? Afterwards, he's like, "How old are you?" And at that time, I was probably like 30, 29. He's like, you can't even sit properly.
Wow.
He's like, why are you playing these sports? He's like, you're not getting paid. You're not. What's the name? What's the point? He's like, do some regular exercises.
Yeah.
Don't worry about playing these.
No. When I was in Madrasa, like, and I came like limping from like a football game in Madrasa, and then like one of the teachers saw me at the Madrasa, and they said, like, what were you doing? And I said, I was playing basketball. I forgot what it was. He's like, like, until when will you continue playing? I was like, shoot, he's right. And I was like 20 at that point. And I was young, but I was like, life is not all a game. I'm not saying don't play sports.
Right. I am, but yes. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Basically, knows my stance about this.
Basically, you're sacrificing your ibadat in salah for overdoing it in sports.
No, it's true. And you know,
it's not just sports, man. I don't want to kill guys who play sports. You know, if you're playing sports and you're not doing anything else, whatever. But the guys who are unhealthy, you know, let's talk about the uncles. The guys our age, if you're getting injured in sports, dude, work through it, get through it, figure it out, and you should be able to still do enough exercise, even through injury, exercise, rehab enough to get back to a normal prayer stance. That has to be your goal. The old people who sit in chairs because of diabetes, hypertension, heart problems, you guys, you have something to answer to.
Yeah.
You know, that you do. Our prayer is physical for a reason. Mm-hmm. If you think you can sit and pray, you might as well be a Christian, because that's what they do.
Don't go that far.
You might as well. If you're gonna come and argue with me, if you're gonna come at me and say, "Oh no, I can be as spiritual as you can," no, you can't, dude. You can't if you don't do sajda. If you don't get into that position, that elongated position with that goes down and extends your spine out, you're just not gonna get that spirituality. If you can't do a proper ruku, you're not going to, because it's physical for a reason.
I agree 100% it's physical 100%. For a reason.
And there are Sahaba who would not only crawl to the masjid, right, but they would still stand. Right? Even though they couldn't, they would stand. And I've seen some guys, and I'm not going to say everybody. There are people in our community I give mad props to. There's some old people in our community I see, man, they can't walk. I seen a guy who couldn't walk, but he got to the masjid and he stood and prayed the entire tarawih. I was shocked. I was just like, how did this guy pray?
Yeah.
You know, I was having trouble. He couldn't walk. So, I mean, it's willpower too, right? It's a lot, right? I mean, if you're injured and you're sitting on a chair and you're saying, well, I can't do anything, I'm injured. I mean, I understand if you really, really can't. But if that guy was like 70, 80 years old and he barely walked and he got in there and he prayed and standing up, either do something about it, you know, or, you know, you have to understand that prayer is a physical action that needs to be ruku, sujood, qiyam, all those things. And if you're just sitting in a chair and going like this, you're doing half the prayer. You can concentrate all you want.
Going back to our topic, so
sorry.
We started out with
intention.
Not
reason and
even
intention.
before
Yeah.
that.
Well,
we had what was our reason? What's our motivation?
Yeah.
We kind of have to have that in our mind. Once you have that, then we make our intention, and then we make our intentions. For example, for me, my intention is, inshallah, I'm going to learn how to pray properly again.
Yeah.
Number 2.
You forgot how to pray? I didn't think you forgot how to pray.
Well, sit properly. And then number 2 is obviously just regular wellness in my health. Yeah. You know, I want my mental health to be good. I want a regular regimen.
Yeah.
Like, basically, if I don't work out, if I don't exercise daily, then I feel it in my daily life.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of my number 2 intention. And then now moving on to the next topic is like...
Well, just a little more intention. Like, motivation and intention, they're completely related. Because if a person's motivated to have longevity in life, that part of it's worship. But they're motivated to be healthy for their family, then they have to be physically fit for their family.
Right.
Remember, after one night after training, the guys, I was driving home and a person's car was broken. Was on the side of the road and they couldn't push their car. There's one person there. So I got out of the car and just had to push it with that person. And we went from it's like a quarter of a mile of pushing. I remember it was a quarter, because I remember measuring it later. I'm like, with that turn is almost a quarter mile.
You left the car back there?
Sorry? I did that. I left my car back out there,
That's crazy.
put the hazards on, took the keys out.
That's awesome, man.
Because I didn't want someone to hit that guy from behind.
Yeah.
And we pushed it, and I remember getting back, and I messaged the guys right away. But part of it's to serve humanity. Yep. You have to have intention to serve humanity. I don't care if it's an animal. I don't care if it's some inanimate object that you have to move out of the road, that a person got paradise for moving.
Yeah.
You know, people talk about moving the obstacle out of the road. Remember in Zambia when we used to walk to the masjid, one of my sons, they used to find obstacles to move out of the way so hopefully they can get that paradise, because that's the hadith, right? That man who moved. There's some obstacles that we're having, like, Baba, I can't move it. I have to help him. Things in our deen, like you were saying, they're physical for a reason. It is not a metaverse concept.
Yeah.
So we have to have this intention. So the intention is to serve humanity. should be strong enough and well enough to serve humanity. If your intention is to be there for your family, you should work out enough such that you'll be able to be there for your family. If your intention is to please Allah, then there has to be mobility and flexibility to be able to pray properly, to be able to maintain a fast without getting those headaches, which cause you to then get upset with your family because
guys who work out in Ramadan have amazing fasts.
Yeah, I feel like that's where that motivation and intention, they link together. And then we lead to the next step, which is making a fitness plan.
Okay.
People of success, they always plan. You fail to plan to fail. You know, that's how
I always say preparation is extremely important, and I think we've been taught this through our deen, right? We prepare for everything. You gotta make wudu, you gotta pray, you gotta give down, you gotta give qama, all preparation for the prayer, right? And our life is one big preparation for the next. So yes, preparation is definitely important. What are we preparing?
It's true. What are we preparing? I mean, no one goes into the kitchen and says, I wonder what ingredients I have, and try to put something together, and they don't have the proper... I mean, there is a plan we have to make. And I think the first plan is just for us to recognize that we have to become active individuals. Become active and understand that link. When you're active... I mean, subhanAllah, when you look at... Like Allah, someone was mentioning this recently. They said they're very happy. This is business related, that they live in this time today because the time they live in today allows them to gain the amount of money they made because of their business model. I remember what the business model was. Well, the Prophet was sent 1,400 years ago for a reason, in a time in which all the comforts weren't there. I mean, can you imagine how much easier it would have been for him to spread the deen if he could just get in a car and drive, or get on, or put his clothes into a washing machine, or had the amenities that we do. But Allah had it happen at that time for a reason. The struggles happen, and the physical toll for a reason. And I think there's lessons we have to take from it. So the Prophet was a very, very active individual, extremely active individual, and so one of the first steps we have to take a step back and see how sedentary are we and how active are we. And if we can really say we're active, then it'll help us take the next step to develop a fitness plan. If not, then that's almost like the first step a person has to take just to become active.
One of the things I was reading before coming here was the American Heart Association. They recommend that a person should... How much do you think they should work out a week?
Strength training 3 times a week.
How about yourself?
I think it was 3 times. I think it went up to 5 times a week now, right?
Yeah. So they recommended 5 times a week, 30 minutes a day.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
It went from 3 to 5?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it did. I think it was like 2 months ago it went up like that.
Dude, every day research and science is coming up, and they do because there's a lot. Right?
30 minutes is not a lot. Yeah. If you look at it, you have 30 minutes 5 times a week. That's what, 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
2.5 hours in 7 days. Like, that's nothing. Yeah. You can go for a 30-minute walk and it's done.
Yeah,
so, I mean, look at all the benefits of being...
walk. Don't do a walk.
Like a proper, focused walk.
Yeah, let's kind of get into planning. When we said planning, I think we were talking about this before, right?
Yeah.
When we talked about planning, we were talking about make a plan, like a routine. Like, there should be a time set aside. Yeah. You have to plan for daily, your activities somewhere along the way. You can't say, well, I'll just fit it in here and there. Right. It doesn't work. If you have a schedule, put it into your schedule. If you don't have a schedule, make a schedule, right? Yeah. Put a time out and say, hey, listen, this time to this time, it could be I drop my kids off at some place and I have 30 minutes. Figure it out, right? Do it. How do we start? This is a great thing. How do we start working out is kind of the topic today anyways. How do we start fitness? If you're not doing anything and if you're not properly, you don't know about diet, you don't know about exercise, you don't know about anything, you're sitting there saying, I am worried. I am, but how do I do this, right? So one thing is, first of all, just do something. Yeah. Right now, just do something. If you're playing sports once a week, that's not enough. If you're taking a walk, like how the Indian people have this huge thing, we took a walk for like 10 blocks. Why are you still dying of diabetes, bro? I mean, I don't understand. Why you've been walking for 10 years, you still have diabetes. You can't shake it, and yes, you can. You can shake diabetes. Yeah. You can shake hypertension. You can shake high cholesterol. You can shake all those things. If you really, really want to, yes, you can, right? I've seen people shake cancer from proper nutrition and proper exercise. Hear that again. People have shook cancer. People have gotten rid of autoimmune disorders. They were told that they're going to die in 2 years. I have people like that. I will bring somebody that I know who was able to change the way of living in order to defeat a disease that she was told she was going to die in 2 years, right? Mm. So we have those people. And it's a fact. And that's what science is coming today for you. That's why you're reading things like, do more exercise, because they're realizing that is the best and easiest, most guaranteed way to cure something. And medicine can't cure anything. FYI, if you ever go to medical school, the first thing they teach you is you can't cure nothing. You can treat, but you can't. You don't ever tell anybody you can cure because you can't.
Oh, they tell you that in med school?
Yeah, they don't allow you to tell your patients that you're going to cure them.
Wow.
Let's say we can treat you.
How'd you react when they said that?
It's true, right? It's all in a lot of times you can't, right? But now science comes out to you and tells you, a lot of scientists come out and say, actually exercise can. Mm-hmm. Going back to the basics can. Eating the proper way, living the proper way, it definitely can. So first thing is, if you don't know anything, just start doing some kind of movement. If you want to run, go run. If you want to go join a gym and join those free classes, join those free classes. If you have the ability to go to a trainer, I highly recommend. I used to be of the mindset when I used to be working out when I was younger, but I started 25 years ago. I learned a lot the hard way. I learned with, back then the gym was small. There were not that many people in the gym. When I used to go 25 years ago, there wasn't as many gyms as there was today. There was literally far and few. And when you walked in there, it was only a certain crowd that was in there. That was it. Nobody else was in there. So I learned my stuff, the hard way going through. Now it's really tough. You just don't know where to go. There's gyms everywhere. There's trainers everywhere. There's like social media blasting you from everywhere. So find a good trainer. Find a good trainer. Find a good program. I don't care if it's one of those, F45s or Orange Theory Fitness. Come to us. Anywhere you can go. If you can't get to me, you go anywhere. If you can't get to Jaanwar, go anywhere. I'm not here to just plug Jaanwar. That's another thing. We do plug us. Obviously, we're Jaanwar Fitness, but we're here on a bigger, broader, bigger scale here. We're talking about health in general. General health of a human being. You gotta go. You gotta go. Go anywhere. You gotta go. If you find a good trainer, and it's not easy to find a good trainer. We will cover good trainer, bad trainer program. For sure, very soon in the podcast, because I have a lot to say about the trainers that we have today. And so,
oh man, it's calling us out.
No, but just in general, if you go to big box gyms, training is garbage. People are after your money. It is a money game. It's a huge industry. It's $1 billion industry. Personal training is $1 billion industry. Okay, so it's huge.
So the main thing we should probably start doing is just doing something.
Do something.
Whether it's going outside for a walk.
Yeah.
Whether it's doing
don't wait
a video at home.
Yeah, anything, man.
YouTube has so many different types of
so many
exercise.
workouts at home. If you can't do it at home, go to the gym. If you can't do the gym, find a partner. Right?
Even playing basketball once a week. Come on, it's still something.
It's something.
It's still something. I know you said it's still something.
Let me tell you something. You do anything once a week. All right,
it's still something.
If you're not playing basketball, and you start playing basketball.
I'll give you an example. We had a client who he started training with us, and he asked me about protein intakes. I spoke to him about how much protein you should do, and so long story short, he tried and he fell short. He tried it, second day, fell short. But,
the protein?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then he's like, I just stopped eating protein. Yeah. Told me a week later, just because I realized I'm not gonna reach my protein goal, 0.6 grams to 1 gram per pound, and he's like, I just couldn't do it, so I just gave up.
So just eat no protein at all.
I got him back on, but the idea was like, that's not what you want to do. That's why I don't want people to say like, okay, I do basketball, it's not worth it. No. If you're doing something, alhamdulillah, it's something. It's like telling a person, oh, you're only praying twice a day. That's that. Just don't pray at all. Yeah, it's something. You're praying.
Yeah. That I agree.
Yeah. So even spiritually speaking, you're doing something. You're like, I'm only reading 1 page of Quran a week. Yeah. That's 1 page more than others are doing, or 1 page more than you may not be doing. So alhamdulillah.
It's still not going to save you.
Allah knows that. We don't know that.
Just saying, from the physical aspect, you're not going to get saved playing basketball once a week. I've seen guys drop dead on the basketball court many times.
But now we're talking about finding a trainer, and this idea. The Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned something very interesting. He said, because it goes to being a trainer. He said, "Al-wahda khayr min jalis as-su." Being alone is better than finding bad company.
Yeah.
Well, jalis as-salih khayr min al-wahda. But being good company is better than being alone.
Yep,
so
100%.
I'm telling you guys right now, if your company are the foodies who take you out every week just to go try every restaurant out there and is contributing to your cholesterol skyrocketing and your heart disease or you're becoming pre-diabetic, etc., rethink. I'm not saying don't be friends with them, but I'm saying rethink your company, especially when it comes to these activities.
Yeah.
It's better to be alone in those situations when it comes to your food activities.
Yeah, agreed.
And if you can take that next step and find, like we were all workout partners at some time. If you can find good company, doesn't have to even be a trainer, but someone who's motivated and willing to take you in under their wing or let you work out with them, then that's your good company there. And it's like I was just mentioning, I think last podcast, like when Mujj and I, and we're going to talk about this a little later, when we started working out together a year and a half ago?
During the pandemic.
Yeah, during the pandemic, yeah. So, So it was just random, and we'll talk about how that happened. But there were mornings. That winter was a rough winter. There was like it was like -20, like quite literally.
Yeah.
And I would message saying, "Hey, you went because we're working in our garage."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Where's
Any heater in there? No.
No heater.
No heat.
And a heater's not gonna make a difference.
It does.
No, it does make a
Propane
difference.
heaters make a difference.
Yeah, so like I'm like,
They
hey,
have garage heaters, man. Like it's like $500, not bad.
you know, when Jaanwar starts paying me more, then I'll get a garage heater.
I got you.
So and then he was just like, look, just put on a hat, you'll be fine. After a few minutes, you'll warm up,
Yeah.
which was true.
Yeah.
But like, if he wouldn't tell me,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have come out,
Yeah,
and I would have probably skipped that
100%.
workout. So
And you know
it's
that
there.
happens. You know, I always say I wore 25 years.
It's
I'll
not
be
even
honest.
about
Nowadays
having
it's
a
hard,
It's
man.
not even about having a trainer. It's just having a good workout
Partner, yeah.
Yep.
Or
Very
someone
important.
kind of checking up on you,
Yep.
or you checking up on them.
Yep.
Because a lot of times you're messaging, "Hey, who's working out?" In my mind, I'm like, "Man, why is he asking me this question?"
That happened yesterday too.
Why is he asking this question?
I want to go, man. So
And
it's
then-
happening to me now. I don't have any more. I used to live in the north side. I had 3 or 4 different partners, you know. And I would grab somebody and go. And I kind of realizing it now that I've moved to Glen Ellen. You know, I guess I didn't realize this before, but I would go with my cousin Khadir. I would go with, you know, whoever was there. Donnie used to work out with me. All these people used to work out with me. And now I'm by myself. You know, I'm over here mostly by myself. And I literally, since I moved here, I have cut down my gym half by half.
If only he knew some guys on the west side who
Yeah,
like to
I
work
mean,
out.
Timing. Guys in the west side, timing is hard, man. North side was a little bit easier. I don't know what it is. We're on the same schedule there.
Seriously,
Over here it's very tough. But you know, even Khadir, like even my workout partners, like I'll give a perfect example. My cousin, you guys know Khadir, right? He's like one of my longest probably workout partners that I've had, and you know, he'll go on his own. But it's not, you know, it's not the same. Like he just starts dropping right away, like fail. You know, oh, I missed this many days, or I'm losing weight, I'm losing strength, and then he'll find me after like 2-3 weeks or a month or something like that. He'll go for like a day or two, get a refresher, and then boom, he's back. You know, he goes and he'll probably go strong for like a week or two. And the same thing with me. You know, if I want to do like a heavy, awesome leg day, or you know, especially leg day, I gotta have somebody with me.
Yeah.
It's just a mental thing. I know what it
It's
is.
motivation
It is.
and someone to push you.
Yeah.
And check your form and make sure you're not messing things up and just.
Yeah.
Like I remember.
For me, it's just someone being there.
Yeah, no, it's true. But
Yeah.
like I was squatting. I forgot who I was squatting with the other day. I think it was Mufti Jam. He came over.
Iman?
No, but he came over and he's like, "Do you always go this heavy?" Which really was not that heavy. But for me, it was heavy, but not for you guys. And I'm like, "Yeah, but no, because you were here. Like if I didn't have a spot or someone watching over me, I'm not gonna go that heavy. I don't want to compromise my
definitely.
knees or like my form or anything." So there is a lot that comes along with having a partner. So guys, find a trainer. That would be optimal because they're trained literally how to make sure that your form is right, that you're not exhausting yourself, that all those things that could
a
potentially
lot
go
of
wrong.
things. A lot of things. It could be much more effective.
Yeah.
You won't
And
be
if-
wasting time.
Yeah, and if not, then at least someone to motivate you.
Yeah.
And at the very least, someone you can just check in with saying, "Hey, I'm working out today," or "I worked out today. Hey, good job," and just something, some pat on the back, something that'll push you forward, some thumbs up that you'll get. I don't know if you guys have anything else to add to that.
Yeah.
For the planning, it's just, you know, it's not the routine that we're talking about. Right?
Yeah.
We're just talking about plan. It has to be a part of your life. So
Yeah.
just make it a plan and do whatever you need to do to get there. You know, so that's one of them. That was planning. What was next?
And leads
by
to
the
the
way,
routine.
just so you guys know, it does lead to the
Yeah.
routine.
Yeah.
What about the routine?
So like,
we wrote the whole thing out.
Yeah. Got it right here.
Yeah.
Building habits and creating a daily routine.
Yes. So that's another thing. The routine that we're now going to talk about is just building a habit, right?
Yeah.
A routine and the what to work out, how to work out, that will come later. We'll get to that soon. But just the building of a habit to work out, again, the plan, you know, how to get there every day. And I was listening to this other trainer the other day, and he had a great response for how he gets people to start, you know, working out, people who have never worked out. And they're like, well, I just can't get to the gym. I don't know how to do it. And his thing was like, listen, if you're, you know, you hear this from our elders all the time, right? Like, you know, just get to the masjid, right? Don't worry about prayer. Don't worry if you're going to miss a talk, or if you're going to hear the talk, or if you're tired, or if you're not interested in the talk. Just come, sit, grab the gabaraka, and leave. His thing was just come to the gym for 5 minutes, make an appearance, and leave. That's how he starts his clients off, you know, for the people who don't ever work out, who can't get to him.
Yeah.
If you can't get to the gym, you can't get to the garage, you can't get there. If you're a guy who does or a girl who does sprints in a park when it's, you know, I don't care about the weather. But, you know, you get to the park. You know, that's your plan for that day. Hey, you know what? I'm going to sprint. I'm going to do sprints for the first couple of weeks. That's how I'm going to start. I used to be a runner in high school. I feel comfortable sprinting. I'm going to go sprint. A lot of people do that, right? Okay, go sprint. You know, go just get to the field. I'm going to start going to the gym. I don't know what to do. That's fine. Just show up. Show up. Hang around for 5-10 minutes, leave. Show up, hang around for 5-10 minutes, leave.
That's the hardest part of everything. It just showing up to do it.
Oh, absolutely.
And everything.
In your salon,
and everything.
Yeah,
your zikr.
Everything, right?
Yeah.
Just
to the
show
masjid.
up. Just show up.
I have a brother on the north side who we read Quran together. Like we recite whatever memorized to keep it strong. And there are days where we miss, so we just call. I'll call him and I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm just calling to say salam, so that way I contacted you today, and we don't break that, because the moment you break that habit, it's so hard to come back on.
It's good to hear that from a sheikh. I'm just saying, right? You have to have, even at your, you know, I mean, even at your level, you have to have somebody. You have that, like, you know, you make that effort to have somebody that you can, like, you know.
Sim's brother.
Oh, nice. There you go. But somebody, right?
Yeah.
You have to have somebody. So, I mean, building habits, guys, it's very tough. We all know that. You know, I mean, we're all human beings, and everybody, I think, knows it. Any habit, it's tough to break a habit, and it's really tough to get a new habit going, you know, especially something that's good. Bad habits are always easy to just fall into, and that's just the nature of this dunya. Right? It's the nature of human beings. That's how God made us. You know, bad habits, we just fall into face flat, real fast, real easy, and then just, you know, it takes you away, and you're like, where
there was a book we were talking about when we were going to Mehfil last year. I think its name was How to Make Your Bed.
Oh yeah, you were telling me about that. Yeah.
So our VP at our work, he gave that book to everybody, and he said, "Read it."
I think some army general wrote that book, right?
Yeah, an army general.
Yeah, I heard that guy's speech live.
So, oh really?
Yeah, his thing was just wake up and make the bed, right?
His first thing was you have to set a goal for yourself that you can do every day and accomplish it.
Yeah.
And the simplest goal is everyone has a bed, everyone wakes up in it. Yeah. And the number one thing you should do is make your bed.
Yeah.
That's like your first kind of task that you've accomplished for the day. So similarly, if you have...
Basically, his point is start with something simple.
Exactly.
Yes. Start with something really simple. Build a habit.
And you know, for habits, the ulama, they say, there's a little discussion, it takes 30 days, or some scholars say 40 days to build a habit.
Really?
Yeah.
So interesting.
So take a calendar, and whatever your first goal is, just mark it off day by day. Yeah. And I'm saying something as small as, for example, like when it comes to working out, that if you just literally, I know you guys are going to laugh at this, but if you're literally just going to say to yourself in a dua, oh Allah, give me tawfiq to work out. If you do it for 34 days straight, I guarantee that will be stuck in your mind.
Right.
But it's really important to have keep it simple, just keep it attainable. You want a reachable goal, but try to reach 34 days for it. Now, some scholars say, should you wait till those 34 days pass and then you reached it and then start the next one? And some say if it's small enough, can you add one or two together? But what are some things that can help make building the habit of working out easy? One thing you've already mentioned is get to the gym. So wherever your location to work out is, get there for a month straight.
Find a partner.
Yeah. Find a partner. That'll push you.
Just your same thing, right? Like find a partner. You know, they call you, you call them, and you know, it's kind of an accountability, right? That's what it is, right? It's really, you see nowadays there's a lot of these accountability apps that are coming out, right? So that's what it is. And you know, it's just it's so crazy that we have to rely on all these outside factors for every little thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and the reality is that's what it is. It's the simple stuff, right? Mindfulness, accountability, you know, responsibility. All these things are just things that we just don't do anymore. Right?
For myself, what I like doing is scheduling it out for the week.
Yeah.
For the month.
Yeah.
So, for example, Ramadan's coming up. I have like a Quran schedule till Ramadan. I'm gonna do this until Ramadan comes. So my Quran is good for Tarawih. So what I'll have is, okay, Fajr, after Fajr, I'm gonna do my zikr, Quran, and then right afterwards, I'm gonna go to CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
And then CrossFit is usually 1 hour. Come back home, and then basically you plan out and schedule out your whole day, and that way you know at what time what you're doing, and it's not being pushed off. Whereas if you don't have anything kind of scheduled in, you don't have anything penciled in, you're just going to do anything randomly.
Yeah, that schedule is key. And I mean, all the ulama, the scholars, they all talk about it. But you mentioned morning in particular for working out. Yeah. Is that like your time?
I like going in the morning personally because you're on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
I can't work out.
He
on a
doesn't
full
agree with
stomach.
that. Remember when he made us work out on that meal the other day? Oh my god.
We ate all this chicken, and all of a sudden we're flipping tires and
Oh my God, yeah,
and
it
I'm
was
like,
It was an awesome workout.
No, yeah, for you.
Had a lot of energy. I don't know. So everyone's different.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Everyone is different.
But you're saying about morning? Go ahead.
I was saying just if you don't get it done in the morning, what potentially could happen is you have 10, 15, 20 other things that can come up in your life that will deter you, and then all of a sudden it's nighttime and you only have 30 minutes before bed, and that 30 minutes before bed workout is going to be horrible compared to 30 minutes in the morning that you would have gotten with your mind fresh, your body fresh.
Yeah, I mean, anything you want to be consistent in, do it in the morning.
Yeah.
Anything you want to be consistent with your Quran, do in the morning. If you want to be consistent with your dhikr, do in the morning. If you want to be consistent with your with balancing your checkbook, which people don't do anymore, do in the morning. You want to be consistent with your homework, do in the morning, because there's no one there. The obstacles aren't present there. That's how we started working out. I was just at we're at Fajr at MSI randomly.
Yeah.
I mean, not randomly. We're at Fajr, and that's when I just moved here. And I think Mujir like, well, like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, I thought you were still in Milwaukee. I saw
Yeah.
you. I'm like, and then I think I saw you the second day. I'm like, hey, maybe I'll just ask him.
Yeah.
And then the second day, I just asked him, like, hey, do you want to go work out? Even though it was like negative 20, I thought he's gonna say like, I'll think about it. And then he's like, yeah, I'll come.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, let's do it.
Yeah, because like I just work on my garage alone, and you're just working on your garage alone, and then all of a sudden there's a match made in heaven, and we stayed consistent all the way till I had to go back to work in person because we were virtual for those 5-6 months, and yeah, seriously, but yeah, the morning time is the key time, and so look at the morning. If not, find a time that works. And my recommendation is attach it to something. This is what our scholars would always tell us: attach it to something that you're going to do anyway. So, for example, if you want to get regular in Quran, and you know you're gonna eat lunch, make the idea that 20 minutes before lunch I'll do Quran, and then I'll go eat, because you know it's attached to something you're not gonna miss.
Right.
So find a time that works for you. For us in NIU, it was at night.
Yeah.
After all of our classes, 9 p.m. we'd hit the gym, and then we come back and have that pound of chicken.
Yeah.
Always the same meal: spaghetti and chicken breast.
My workout was with Omar Zaman. Actually, he was my first workout partner. So
Omar Sulaiman.
No, Omar Zaman.
Omar Sulaiman. Okay.
So our thing was we would go to export, we would work out, and right afterwards we would attach it to obviously eating. We would go out to eat. We would go out to eat, and I would get like a brownie bowl, and he would get like some good protein.
A brownie bowl.
This is when you were like 15.
Yeah, that's
didn't know
different.
what we were doing, but
Yeah.
it was when you
So
mentioned
we got
attaching it to food.
Planning, routine.
But so another thing about making a habit, and Mush brought this up today, like that mindset. He was writing about dressing.
Right.
Who?
Remember Mush was saying earlier today when we were doing like the planning for this?
So before even going to the workout, putting on
the gear, yeah.
That's a whole different
Workout
topic.
gear.
But we got to talk about that a little to get people.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is preparing to the gym, right? I think that
Right.
comes into preparation.
Yeah.
yeah,
Preparing to go to the gym, definitely, you have to be in the mindset. One way is I can't stand it when people show up wearing like,
Dress pants,
dress
like
shoes, jeans, and stuff like that.
we
And,
have one guy. Well, I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I brought it up to him
I told him
before.
already, I told him
Yeah, I
already.
told him too. I'm like,
He's
dude,
such a
man.
nice guy. I was like, dude, you gotta change his clothes because you're coming in here looking like you're gonna teach. I don't want to learn. But gear is important, like everything else.
Yeah.
Everything else. You guys go to work, you know that your tools are extremely important, right? So having the correct tools, having the right shoes for working out. We'll talk about shoes. I think we'll do a whole episode on shoes, right? On which shoes to wear for work. This is very important. And then you have your clothes, right? I mean, if you're wearing, I'm not saying you have to wear expensive, fancy clothes, but workout clothes. There's if you wear like regular heavy duty cotton and you're sweating, it just soaks, right?
Yeah.
You have the dry fit stuff, which you guys love wearing.
Yeah.
That kind of wicks it off, which is nice and keeps it dry. I like wearing this charged cotton stuff from Export. I mean, it's from Under Armour. And I can't wear the Nike t-shirts anymore because the cotton's not the same. It's just the way it feels. This absorbs a little bit better. It doesn't get too sweaty, and it's lightweight. And it's really flexible. The cloth, and that makes a difference. And you believe it or not,
Absolutely.
everything makes a difference. So gear up. That's very important. I would definitely am going to do an entire episode on like workout gear. Because that's something is huge. I see people coming in and You know, and the sad thing is these guys are not poor. You know, I mean, people are well off, and they come in with crappy pants and these crappy shoes, and it's like 1990.
Hey, remember that one day when I came?
Pants.
When they came with
what are you wearing?
That's literally the first
they
thing.
come with big baggy like sweatpants.
It was Shawar that was cut from the bottom.
Cut from the bottom. That's horrible. But no, the guys wear these old, like, you know, those 1990 sweatpants that we used to wear back in the day. Like this, I'm like, how did
MC Hammer.
How do you still have those pants?
It just builds confidence. Like,
it does.
When you go to an intervio, you're wearing like a nice suit. It builds confidence while you're talking. Yeah. When you go to the Eid Namaz or something, you're wearing a really nice shawar.
I mean, every you go to prayer, you have to wear a certain kind of clothing.
Yes, absolutely.
You go to work, you're wearing a certain kind of clothing.
But that's an issue with our community. You go to the masjid, they're wearing like sleeping clothes. So it's like something we have to get in the proper mindset. You know, and one easy way to fight this, and I've said this over and over to our guys, get a gym bag. Yeah. In your gym bag, keep a separate pair of shoes. If you want to keep a deodorant, keep a nail clipper. I always tell them, like, you know, deodorant. Keep a pair of clothes. Keep a water bottle.
Make a Jamaat bag, bro.
Yeah, maybe 40 days. That's fine too. But the idea is that because people always say, "I don't have time." Yeah. Fine, you don't have time. Keep that bag's in the same place in my home. Yeah. It's about 10 feet away from the door. It's right there. Everything is set. So the moment I walk out,
you change out the dirty laundry.
Yeah.
The dirty socks.
Keep a sweat towel. Yeah, you want to change it. So what I do is when I go home, I dump it and I refill it. Yeah. And then it just sits there. And I know the next day I'm going to go work out, I just pick it up and I go. That way I never have to worry about anything there. So do that. That's an easy way to be prepared. And then you feel like you go to school, you put on your backpack. You go to school, work, you pick up your briefcase or whatever those carrier bags or messenger bags are. You go to the gym, you pick up your gym bag, and you're set.
Gear is important. Good gear is important.
And you don't waste time doing anything else. Yeah. You prepare everything.
I think I made all the guys in our class buy shoes.
Yeah, you did. They all bought the Metcons.
Oh, yeah, the Metcons, yeah. And some people said they saw a difference in the way they felt when they're working out. Hey, what's our time so far?
Looks like it's about 45 minutes.
Okay, we got to start wrapping up.
Yeah.
So let's move on. We got tracking your progress. And yeah. No. It's a track. You know, the simple things that will help you see how you're doing.
Yeah.
So for example, Moj and I, we like to use a Renfro scale, and it has the whole chart of how much.
Let me stop you guys right there. Don't. That's a great way to do it for you guys, but for everybody else, it's going to be, you know, one of the things that gets to me, you know, that's probably difficult for people to start working out is keep it simple, right? I mean, keep it as simple as possible is one of the things. The Renfro scale is pretty cool. I've never used it myself, but I've seen people use it. It gets too much.
Oh, that's fine.
Try to get too much, right?
Yeah.
Just your pant size. I always say, you know, I was training somebody this morning. They were asking me, "Hey, you know, should I weigh myself?" I said,
"Yeah." I tell people don't weigh yourselves anymore.
Yeah, don't. You know, I'm like, it becomes, you know, it used to be a psychological thing, right? But now I want you to really feel it. And I want you to just tell me about your pant size. How do your clothes fit? You know, that's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
Are you?
The guys.
Yeah. Did we lock this front door?
No, but I mean, I don't think we're supposed to, were we?
Yeah, we were. I opened it with the key.
Oh, well, it was just open when I came in.
Yeah, as I was hoping you would lock it.
Oh, you didn't tell me?
Yeah.
Maybe he came for his keys?
I'm saying, yeah, maybe he came for his keys. So, I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, so pant size.
So, yeah, so, you know, check out how your clothes are fit.
Yeah, that's fine.
How you feel. Those are tracking your progress. I mean, one way is to do it by how much you're working out, what you're lifting.
Yeah.
You know, you have food logs, you have your Renfro scales. But the easiest and most simplest way is, how do you feel? You know, are you sleeping better?
Yeah.
Usually you'll notice those changes, right? You'll be sleeping better. You'll be a little bit more clear-minded. You'll be more energetic, right? You know, believe it or not, guys, I mean, I know this kind of a little bit off the topic real quick. Just give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, no problem.
But it's, you know, mental health it really is proportionate to your physical health.
There's an article, I think I shared it with you guys this afternoon about mental health and exercise.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't read it, but yes. I'm sorry. One of you guys read it, hopefully. But it does. Yeah, anxiety, depression, all these things are linked. You know, I'm not saying that, if you're depressed and anxiety, some people will come at you, you don't know what it's about.
No, but I have it. I see a therapist for depression and anxiety, and he told me, work out.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting? When I first took a sheikh, like a spiritual mentor, in December 13, 2000, I remember exactly, 2001. Yeah, 2001. But when he first met me before that, he saw, because we were working out together at NIU. So you know what he said? We were just talking about just Dean. He's like, never leave working out. And one of the first things I did was I left working out. But there's a direct correlation. So all these things, your psychological health, your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, all those things are completely connected together. Yeah. We're a human being as one body for a reason.
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, tracking is, that's how you're tracking, right?
Some method of tracking.
Some method.
That's simple.
But the simplest method, how are you feeling?
Yeah.
That's a great method. That's what I ask my guys. I always give them a week or two, and I don't ask them anything about how do you feel?
Yeah.
Now, how are you feeling today? That's enough. Like I just talked to one of our clients, just a new client that joined last week, 3 weeks ago. I gave him 2-3 weeks just to kind of like, I didn't ask him anything. And then after 2-3 weeks, I went and I asked him, I said, how are you?
Yeah.
How does it feel? I mean, he was like, oh, this feels amazing. I feel so much better. I feel energetic. I feel like I can sleep. He has all these awesome feelings. Like, I'm continuing on for sure, you know? So we usually try to give clients like a week or so to kind of try out the class. That's all it takes. It usually takes one class, to be honest with you guys.
Yeah. But
in 3 classes, you'll feel enough of a difference. At 3 workouts, you'll feel enough of a difference that they're hooked. They're like,
that's literally what you asked me. I think it was last week, the week before. I asked you, I'm like, look, man, 200 grams of protein is a lot. That's for me, it's a whole lot. And then I'm like, I feel like I'm gaining weight. And then you're like, well, how are you feeling? I'm like, I feel great. I feel firm. I feel strong. You're like, well, just keep up with it. Yeah.
Feeling is huge. That's why that's how you gauge yourself, and that's how you start getting in touch with yourself. Yeah. If you're not in tune with yourself, guys, I know people say, "Oh, be woke, be this." This is how you get in tune with yourself. You learn yourself when you work out, when you start changing your diet. You start learning things about your body, about the way everything about you. You learn a lot. So. Definitely, whoever broke in here is clean, so it's good.
Yeah.
So anyway, go on.
Okay, then after that we have create a diet plan. Now we're not gonna spend a lot of time on diet. Yeah. One of the things we want to stress was people always when they want to begin their fitness journey, they always say, "What should my diet be?" So the first thing we're gonna tell you is it's better to start exercising, being active, than jumping onto a diet. And there's a few reasons. One reason is it's when it comes to diets, even the word diet, it's just so overwhelming for people. And you tell them what they can't do. It's all negative reinforcement. Yeah. You can't do this. You can't do that. Like, okay, well, I can't live, so I might as well just stop doing what you're saying. Yeah. So, but whereas working out, it's all positive. I want you to do this and do this many sets of this and this many reps of this. It's positive. Then you leave and you see muscle growth. You see all these things. There's a positive reinforcement there. So when you're talking about diet, setting a diet plan, that comes after working out, for at least for the most part.
And we will discuss that.
Yes.
We'll definitely discuss that.
We should probably really go into detail. We can go into.
We should talk about your diet. We'll start with what we eat, and then we'll go from there.
I've done every fat diet.
So there you go. We have a diet. We have a diet expert.
IP process. Whatever you want.
So yeah, I mean, I would hold off on diet, guys. If you're starting your fitness journey, start working out first and foremost. It's the easiest thing to do, right? It's the easiest. Getting in the kitchen, changing your ingredient. And the best part about this, the reason I say this is because, and this is from experience, is everybody that I've trained, all the people that come to train with me, they'll start working out. I never say anything about diet. They always ask me, hey, do you do nutrition? Do you do diet? Do you do nutrition? Do you do diet plans and all this? And I always say, yeah, I do. I don't do it officially like a dietitian or a nutritionist, but I do it from a trainer's perspective. Yeah. And it's pretty much on point, but I never push that in front of them, from day one. They always ask me, I said, don't worry about it. Just get here 3 days a week. And when we started this class, you were there. When we started this class here at Dar es Salaam about in September, I remember telling the class, I said, listen, I am not talking to anybody about diet until you hit 12 sessions.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it. Don't ask me any questions. Don't tell me about it. Don't say anything. Just show up 12 days in a row, and then we'll talk about diet. And because the reason is because by the 4th or 5th week, they're usually begging you, like, hey man, what more can I do? Yeah, I lost 3 inches out my gut. I want to lose the rest of it. What do I do?
Going along with what you're saying is we started the whole journey. We started, going to the gym, doing something active. Then we prepared. After we were prepared, now we got into creating a diet plan, logging everything, blah, blah, blah. Now, what are some expectations that we should have that we've done all of this?
Oh, yeah. So especially with diet, I mean, just because we just piggybacked off that, or camelback, the idea is, I think people just have expectations that are just not, they're not realistic. Even with diet, like, well, I'm only going to eat this much.
This is where that social media thing comes in.
Yeah,
right? This is where it comes in. Up. This is the problem, right? We have this, this stuff is pushed on these people. And like now, do you watch this stuff? I mean, I don't know if you guys have. I know you guys probably don't have Facebook and stuff like that. But if you have Facebook or Instagram, it's like everybody, because I have only the fitness channels, right? Like everyone's ripped, everyone's jacked, everyone looks amazing, and everybody and then they all have these stupid plans. Oh, in 6 months, look what I did, and he's like showing a six pack.
Yeah.
You know, again, right? You're like believing what you see on the media, it's or wherever you hear. You have to get away from that. Expectations is going to take a long time. Don't expect instant results. Like there's no such thing. You don't instantly become an engineer. You don't instantly become a doctor. You don't instantly become a Moana. You don't instantly become a Hafiz. It doesn't happen, right? You don't instantly become anything. You don't instantly become healthy. If you're listening to us or you're coming to us for, working out, most likely you've come to a point where you realize there's something wrong here and you need to fix something, you need to change something, and that means you've been abusing your body for a long
someone
time.
who hasn't done anything for a very
Yeah,
long
that's what I'm saying.
time.
It's abuse, right? 30
You're
years.
thinking of changing 30 years of abuse, like you just said.
Yeah.
In 3 weeks,
Yeah.
6 weeks,
3 months. They want is 1 month enough? If I come here for I'm like, how about you come here for 3 months first, and then we'll talk about what more can we do from here.
And a lot of the workout plans that you see out there right now, they all are 6 weeks, 8 weeks, or 12 weeks, and in that, like the way they restrict your diet, the way the exercises that they make you do, it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
So when you're first starting out, you'll obviously see something because you haven't done anything for the whatever X many.
I think the first month you get your best results. I think first 3 months, I'd say. First
new
gains.
gains.
You start dropping. You start dropping. Your
Age
weight.
matters, man.
Yeah.
Right, age matters. If you're older, you're gonna be obviously it's gonna take longer, right? If you're depending on how much how your genetics are, what your diet habits are, what your living habits are, it can take time. So expectations have to be realistic. They shouldn't be, I'm going to be like, in 3 months, 6 months. Your number one expectation should be, I want to get healthy. That should be your number one goal. I want to get healthy. If you're getting in here, just to look amazing and nothing else, well, that's fine. We all did that. Again, it's going to take some time, right? But it depends on age. It depends on how long you've been doing what you've been doing. And there's a lot of factors there, but your expectations should be realistic.
Yeah. Getting healthy is probably the number one thing that should be on your mind.
Yeah.
That's what matters,
Because what ends up happening is, say you don't hit that goal at 12 weeks, say you don't hit that goal in 6 months, then you just start getting so depressed, and then the reverse happens where you completely backtrack and you go even
that happens all the
overboard.
time. Happens all the time. And remember one more thing I want to mention here, what we mentioned last time, is our where we from, right? Our ethnicity. That matters a lot, guys. I see guys all the time. Man, nowadays there's actually some great bodybuilders who are Arab and Desi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But again, it's like 1 in a billion. Well, a couple in a million. You be realistic who you are. I mean, I just know I'm not gonna look like some of these guys. I just don't have the genetics to look like that. Right?
that's
So
true.
if you don't have the genetics to look like that, doesn't mean that you have to look like those people. You look your best self, right? What's your best self? Don't worry about other people. What's the best I can be, right? The healthiest I can be, the strongest I can be. Whatever I is enough, right? Getting involved with looking at other people and just trying to get to those goals. You're gonna have some disappointing expectations, I think.
Yeah, that's in life too. You look at your VP and you're like, man, I want to get to that level. Or you look at a scholar and be like, I want to be like that alim. Or you look at
good goals.
Basically anything. Yeah, they're definitely good goals. But some people, they're just not going to be that person. Like for example, Sheikh Saad here. He's a really good speaker. I'm never going to be that speaker.
We can try.
Well, Muj's recitation, it's not going to happen. So.
All right, what's next?
And then, we'll start wrapping up with rest and recovery. It's one of the big issues that people have. Then we have celebrate yourself.
Oh, yes. I'll leave that to Muj.
Yeah, leave that to Muj.
Rest and recovery, I think, is extremely important. This one we have to cover because I see a lot of guys, even in our class, who don't understand recovery and rest periods between working out. Not just during the workout, but after the workout, like during your entire routine. You cannot be going 6-7 days a week, and 6-7 days a week without any rest. Have to have at least a day or two rest, depending on how old you are, depending on your condition. Rest and recovery is as important as a workout as the rest and recovery, because that's when all the building happens. When you're working out, you're not really building muscle; you're destroying your muscles. Yeah. Then when you get back, what you eat, how much you rest, that's what builds that muscle back up, and it's very important. People are wondering, why is it so important? Because when you're building muscle, you're constantly losing fat, and we're going to talk about the strength. I think it's the next episode that we have is going to be about what type of exercise you should do.
Strength training,
and we'll talk about this a lot. Is the the benefits of strength training and resistance training and all that. And one of those things is, again, right, when you're resting properly and you're recovering properly, you're resting properly, you give enough time for recovery. And what that does is your body is consistently, repairing, regenerating,
and resting meaning
rebuilding.
You're sleeping like 6 to 8 hours a
That's
night.
one of the biggest issues our guys have. They don't sleep.
Because they don't work out.
Yeah.
If you're in good physical condition, you will sleep. You will sleep 6 hours a day. Except for you. I don't know what's wrong with you.
No, that's just saying, like, there are people like me out there, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, I think people have to develop a routine for even sleeping.
Yeah.
They're on their gadgets until like midnight.
Get rid of that.
And then, I mean, I hate this. You're my normal phone.
Yeah.
My son's still using it. So once I get that back in like 2 months, so this is gone.
Yeah.
But like, you can't just be out hanging out with the guys and then just drinking chai at whatever divan or wherever people are, and then just jump into bed and expect it to happen. There has to be an unwinding routine. We were just talking about the hadith. Remember the other day about not sleeping after Maghrib, not talking after Isha, and then all those questions that came along with
not sleeping before Isha, and not talking after Isha. Amazing, man. Great stuff, dude. You have to build a routine to go to sleep. And like for you, I was just thinking about this the other day. If you can't sleep during the night, you gotta find yourself some time to sleep.
Yeah,
I'm
trying.
Like a nap,
I'm trying.
12-hour, 1 hour nap, half hour.
I do so while driving.
Yeah, or when you're driving, if you have a Tesla, whatever you want to do.
My mom still tells me, he's like, you should nap in the afternoon. I'm like,
dude, it's amazing. I don't
I
do
want
it.
to, I
sleep,
just don't have time.
I don't sleep much. You get for some reason, no matter what time I sleep, I'm up at like 5:30. 5:30 to 6, I'm up. And then, and this is something that just happened recently. I guess as you get older, they say you sleep less, which is awesome. And I wish I was waking up earlier. If you ever hear any successful person's book, or you read any successful book, or you hear them talk, what's the first thing they say? All the executives, all the big shots. We wake up at 5 o'clock.
At
even The
4
Rock,
o'clock.
like 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock to work out.
Mark, all these guys are up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. What do they say? Why? Because by the time everybody else wakes up, I've done a half a day's worth of work. So I'm half a day ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
You multiply that by day by day by day. In 1 year, you're years ahead of somebody.
I think what everyone should do is Google Kobe's routine.
Oh,
yeah, Kobe's routine,
Kobe's routine when he was in the NBA, like, you just read that and you just get inspired. Like, man, this guy knew what he wanted and worked for it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, definitely rest is important. Sleep is one of those things.
I was thinking about sleep. The afternoon nap. You got to understand this, guys. So the Prophet mentioned 2 things help 2 things. If you want to fast, you have to have suhoor. Suhoor, not like these huge meals, but a basic suhoor, basic pre-dawn meal that'll help you in your fast. Yeah. And if you want to pray tahajjud, you have to take a nap in the afternoon.
Oh, wow, really?
And this is one of the things that helps with the tahajjud idea. Sweet. Why? And now the afternoon nap, people get this wrong. They like, okay, sunnah is 20 minutes or half hour. That's not the sunnah. Like when you set, like, let's say I set my alarm for like 30 minutes. And then I lay down and like things are getting a little blurry and I'm hearing some faint noises and it goes away. And then you sort of wake up, you're like, oh my God, what time is it? And you look, only like 6-7 minutes have passed by. Mm-hmm. That's the nap. You feel refreshed.
Yeah.
But the mistake people make is say, oh, it's only been 7 minutes. I still have 13 minutes left. They go back to sleep. They wake up like a half hour later. Now you feel disgusting. You feel groggy. That wasn't the nap. The nap was that reset button. I remember Sheikh Hussein even mentioning a few years back, like 10 years ago actually, about like when he did his rotation in the morgue for pathology. He said like accidents, they spike at the noonish time, a little afternoon. And that's because when people are really tired. And that's when you're supposed to take a nap. Yeah. And so
power naps they call it, right?
Yeah.
They work.
And it just has to be a little. So if you even go to your car and just put your head back and just get that like 10 minutes and then you wake up, that'll be enough to re-energize you.
And mine are different every day. Like, I don't nap every day, but like once in a while I'll get a chance to nap in the thing. Yeah. It's usually, I'll be lying on the couch, the kids are playing. My little ones are usually at home, so I'll be laying on the couch. They're kind of jumping around on me or playing or whatever like that. I fall asleep for a little while. Sometimes it's 10 minutes or 20 minutes is good enough, and sometimes I knock out for like an hour and I wake up. And
sleep that.
Yeah. So it's just it really depends, on you. Everyone has to gauge themselves. I think. Some people you don't need 7 hours. Like I only need 5 to feel amazing. 5 to 6 hours today feels great. 10 years ago, I think I probably needed 7 to 8 hours. So. It really depends, and I don't work out as hard as I used to. Another thing, right? So if you're not working out as hard, you probably don't need as much sleep. But resting, meaning take rest, like not continuously working out. And then we were going to talk about this. Was it this podcast we were going to talk about? Like those high energy workouts people do, like insane intensity.
Next one.
Yeah. again, because you're not letting yourself rest, and you're kind of doing a little bit more damage.
Remember, because like I had this whole thing. I just want this like 6-pack. Like that's like my that's my one thing. I don't care. Like I feel healthy, alhamdulillah. But
the dude
who
never goes to the beach wants a 6-pack.
Well, that's what I want, you know. And so I remember I gave you my routine from the summer. So I was lifting 5 to 7 days a week.
Yeah.
I was on the Peloton 4 to 6 days a week.
Yeah,
I was doing
crazy.
Boxing 3 days a week.
Insane.
I was doing jiu-jitsu 3 days a week and ultimate frisbee 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude,
Dude, you're working and living.
Yeah. So then I remember I asked him, like, man, why am I not like shredded by now? He's like, let me guess, you're flabby. I'm like, yeah, I'm actually flabby. He's like, let me guess this. I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're not resting.
Yep.
It's like, cut it down. And once I cut it down, which was really hard for me, because when you're a new guy or even an old guy trying to rejuvenate, you think the more the better, but it's not always more is better. Sometimes less is
always
better.
better.
And then all of a sudden, like, I'm like, oh my God, I feel firmer. I feel this, and things began to fall into place. Yeah.
Mashallah.
Right.
Oh, celebrate.
Oh,
That's
okay.
good.
This is Muj's, guys. We'll let Muj handle this one. I'm not a big celebrating guy.
Yeah.
It's not really celebrating. It's
Moj likes to celebrate every win. His wife has a bakery. He's celebrating all day.
so celebrate basically means like, for example, when I went through the liver cleanse that I had done, it's 21 days. It's really hard. First 10 days, you're only eating vegetables. The next couple days, you're only eating vegetables and maybe 6 to 10 ounces of meat.
Yeah.
So I did that for a straight 21 days, and then I was like, you know
You
what?
eat only like chicken breast in that, right?
Yeah,
You can't
only
eat
chicken
red
breast.
meat, right?
You can do red meat if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. I modified.
Yeah.
I was doing it for like losing weight and
Yeah.
fad diet. I wasn't really.
He
doing
wasn't
it.
doing it because he drinks. Liver detox are usually for people who drink.
Yeah.
Or
So
take really bad doses.
basically you're setting goals for yourself and you're rewarding yourself along the way.
Yeah.
Nice.
And my reward was like eating my mom's biryani. So basically, reward.
We're gonna talk about that later. We talked about this today. We totally missed that.
Cheat meals, yeah. Well,
yeah.
next
So
one.
basically, reward yourself with a good meal, or reward yourself. Say that, hey, if I'm been working out for the past 12 weeks consistently and it's been great, now I might need a new pair of shoes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
get yourselves like some real nice Metcon 7s. Like, I think they're a little bit more expensive, but they're gonna help you in your workouts.
Just reward yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just reward yourself some way or another.
Instead of like picking out, buy some. Yeah, and that's another thing. I think when people say celebration, and you said biryani, so people are gonna probably start thinking, oh man, I worked out for 6 weeks straight, or I'm just gonna go and pick out.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
Right, it
food.
doesn't have to be food, right? It could be.
Yeah.
And Saad has a good one.
Yeah,
Saad,
yeah.
what
I was
do you
like,
do when you
so
celebrate?
I was building my garage gym. So I was like, okay, I got a piece of equipment, and when I was consistent in it, I would celebrate by saving up to get the next piece of equipment.
Yeah.
So then I got like the landmine, and I began to use the landmine regularly. Time to celebrate. So I got myself the hex bar.
There you go.
Then I used that regularly. Celebrate, get the ply box,
Yeah.
and then it was cool because then you're constantly using it, and it wasn't because before I used to celebrate just by having like ice cream and stuff like that, and then I would just actually lose progress, but now there was actually a gain of progress, and it was a nice little reward for yourself. It doesn't have to be expensive. You go to like Facebook Market and stuff,
Yeah.
and half of my gym was free.
Oh yeah.
You walking around, I'm like, that was free, that I paid for, but it was
Yeah,
most of it was
not
free.
bad.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had that celebrate mentality. I think I have something called body dysmorphic disorder, but I'm never happy with the way I look. So I've never really celebrated.
Well,
It's not celebrate how
It's
you
not
look.
celebrating
I have
how you
body
look.
dysmorphia
It's
too.
more about
I don't know if that.
it's more about hitting goals.
Oh yes,
right?
yes, that's right.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
you're setting up goals for yourself.
Cancel
You hit the- you hit the goal and
Yeah.
you do something
Yeah.
for it. And like he was mentioning, getting a new what's the name, workout equipment.
Yeah.
I had that same type of mentality. I'm like, all right, if I do X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring in this new whatever workout
yeah.
thing. And
That's
they're
awesome.
real cheap on Facebook.
Yeah.
What's the name? My whole gym off of Facebook is less than like $800,
Yeah.
and I got a lot of stuff.
He's got a lot of stuff.
Really?
And that's the thing,
That's
people,
awesome.
and
Is
we
it
have to
during
talk
COVID?
about.
Yeah, during COVID.
Yeah, mine was mostly during COVID too. I think people have this misconstrued or this misconception that it's going to cost too much. Most people buy a lot, never use it.
Yeah.
Right.
You buy something small, or you get something small, you acquire something, and you use it, and then you see gains, and then you get something more.
Yeah.
One, you'll build a larger gym. Two, it'll be a lot cheaper. Three, you'll only get what you need
Yeah.
because it won't be this big splurge. That's a different topic: how to build like your own home gym.
Yeah.
Which I know you love.
Not at all. So, want to end this off?
Yeah, sure, why not? Inshallah. So, I know we went a little longer than planned, but Jazakumullah khairan. keep these things in mind,
Hopefully
guys.
We'll edit this a little bit.
Keep these things in mind that, we want you to first find your motivation. Once you found your motivation, then couple with a bunch of intentions that will help you move forward. And then establish a fitness plan. That's not a routine. This is a plan on what you do to become more active. And then from that, build your habits. And by establishing a routine, find the time that you want to work out, getting a gym bag, dressing properly, and then begin to track your progress through basics. Do you feel healthier? Is your waist size decreasing? Your pants fitting better?
Shirts.
You're sleeping better, shirts, etc. Then remember, work out over diets. Initially begin by working out, see the gains, the progress, positives. Then we work towards taking away. Then have sustainable expectations and easy to reach expectations, not expectations that are unrealistic. Then rest and recovery, and then finally reward yourself with something special. And inshallah, you could reward yourself for making through another podcast with us. On behalf of Coach Shak, this is Saad. Take care, everyone. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Like a soldier, I'ma stand up and pray to my Lord. Like a soldier, I'ma fast my 30 days for my Lord. Like a soldier, calculate zakat and pay for my Lord. Like a soldier, Hajj and Umrah gets me.